when we first went to WCW, Nitro was 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We wrote 9 3-hour Nitros. Bro, we had no problem. We had no problem whatsoever, and the shows flowed, and they weren't boring. You know why, Chris? We used the entire roster.
All right, quick thoughts on Raw becoming 2 hours. Do you think this would make it a better show, Vince? You and I, we talk Raw every single week.
We thank God for that. We thank God for that, Chris.
You think it'd be a better show?
Yeah.
Going 2 hours instead of 3?
Yeah, because too, the way that you can distribute content now, you don't need the third hour. The Netflix deal's paid for, like, to get more people so they have visuals. Not everything could be appointment television. So with 2 hours, you're like, I have to watch it. With 3 hours, you're like, I'll watch. You can flick in and out, I think, more so. But if you need to build stars or have like a secondary program or something else that can air, I mean, their YouTube has gigantic reach. You could still get that extra hour to get people in front of people and televise, so you can still build your stars.
What do you think, Vince?
Man, EC3 brought up something very, very interesting. It's like, bro, do they do it? Are they going to do a third hour and put it on YouTube?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Because
they're about content creation anyway. Yeah, they're all about shelling out content. Yeah, I mean, if they can get some dollars from YouTube by doing a whole concept revolved around people competing 3 minutes or less to each other, they could definitely put some an hour of content on YouTube.
Well, I'm telling Raju right now, Chris and I are not watching the third hour on YouTube, Raju. Okay, so let's just tell him up front, Chris. We ain't watching it, bro.
Yes. EC3, and you'll have a co-host. We'll have the Legion of Raw third hour edition with EC3 and some other co-host.
Yes.
But I will not be manning that ship. My ship would have been long sailed an hour before y'all started. So have a lot of fun with that, ladies and gentlemen.
I actually really like that idea from a couple perspectives. As like, you can get new people, you can keep programming things, you can keep angles alive if they don't necessarily fit in the 2 hours. But then if you want to, like, for Die Hard, you can throw a 20-minute match on there, and
it's
not going to kill the live crowd, but you can appease that market where, like, you got a really strong 20-minute match out of two guys on the come up. Like, if the first 2 hours are Raw itself and that last hour is whatever for content's sake and building the future, I actually really like that idea. And I think when Raw went to 3 hours, I said it would be a great idea if the 8 to 9 was like not mandatory watching, like you kind of scale back, but that's where you put new people in and build things and re-air the main angles. And like, so 9 to 11 people definitely have to watch, but they want to watch another hour, cool. If they don't, it's okay, because it's not appointment television.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with that, though, man, is that so even if you do that, is the entire structure going to change? The problem that Vince and I see, the thing is, you don't have to, you get the luxury of not being commissioned in your contract to watch Raw every week. Okay, Vince and I have to do that, and every single week it's a house show loop in another city. And that's basically what we see. How is that going to change if it's on YouTube? It's still going to be in the same city with the same fans. You're just creating content for a different platform using the same model.
I would change the model, but
yes, definitely change the model, but I doubt that they're going to do that. Vince?
I was just going to say, Chris, we're going to be seeing a 2-hour house show.
Exactly. I mean, it's just going to be from a 3-hour house show to a 2. It's the same model. It's going to be another feed. It's going to be another loop in another city with 2 hours now.
But thank them for that. Thank them for that, Chris. That is only going to be a 2 hour.
Thank you for 1 hour less. EC3?
I don't know. We're rambling too much, but you just think in Vince as a guy who created 2 hours and like you remember hear you talking about when SmackDown came, like how much harder it was to create another 2, but like when they have the gigantic teams they have now, separating their forces, focusing on 2 hours allows probably the better ideas to live, and there's probably more thought going to go into it. So
I could tell you guys this: when we first went to WCW, Nitro was 3 hours. Mm-hmm. We wrote 9 3-hour Nitros, bro. We had no problem. We had no problem whatsoever, and the shows flowed, and they weren't boring. You know why, Chris? We used the entire roster,
and that's good. As a fan, though, I'll tell you, as a fan, back 97, 98, 99, especially 99. Man, I got so tired of that daggone Lucha Hour, the beginning of the Nitro every single week.
We didn't do that. I mean, we didn't do that.
Yeah, it was y'all transitioned more outside of the luchadors, but that first hour every single week was Lucha Hour.
Yeah.
I remember watching mostly Raw. Like I was the one with the remote that would do this every single week, back and forth, and hitting the back button all the time. But I just got so disinterested with seeing and Hector Garza and Viano 5, who I think just passed away recently, actually. And Super Crazy and El Dandy, like it was just the Lucha Hour, I was just like, I'd rather see the Ultimate Man from last week.
When we went there, that was not the Lucha Hour. We did 3 hours.
I remember. So that's good. So. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Vince Russo, EC3. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Wrestling Outlaws. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.
Check out BrainBuster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.